imagine thinking of myself as a great-great-grandpa. I'm only 45. I'm not an old man yet. What is this? I guess that's some sort of cane or something. I don't know. Oh, I know. I'm thinking of Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke's old man that he played in there. You put your tuppence in the bank. Yeah. Goofy. What was I saying? I was just saying I love the different styles that are out there, and I'm definitely borrowing from those styles. But the funny thing about people that like to troll is most of them don't create anything. And so it's safe to troll when you're not putting anything out there for someone else to critique. But it's lazy. Get out there and create something. Later on today, I have lunch with a good friend, Neil. Haven't seen him in a while. We did a vlog with Neil not too long ago. He's a really huge Star Wars fan. Maybe we'll talk to him a little bit today about the topic of people posting comments about disparaging things. Maybe we'll talk with him about that. I've got no time for those people. And yet I'm sitting here talking about them. I guess I say that because I want to prepare myself ahead of time to not, as much as possible, not let those people bother me. I would prefer to just be sad for those people rather than get mad. It really would be a waste of time because that's what they want to do, and I hope that someday their hearts change and they decide life's too short to complain and to hurt people with our words, or try to. Being kind, being caring, listening to people, being genuinely interested in someone else's life. Those are the things that bring us real fulfillment and enjoyment in life. The people that are spewing all of that negative garbage on other people, all they're proving is that they're not happy, and that's sad. And I say that kind of shruggingly, that it's sad. I do feel sad for them, but at the same time I have to kind of shrug it off because I can't spend much time thinking about the actual content of what they're saying. When someone says something negative, our best thing, and trust me, I'm rarely great at this, but our best thing when someone says something negative is to think about the pain that's behind that, the anger, the frustration. Something led them to that point where they decided or feel like it was put upon them that they had to become that kind of person. I have to believe that every single person, when they're born, is born... True, they're born with a personality, but they're not born just mean. Meanness is something that is a product of environment and choice of how we react to that environment. I've been in those places where I felt like I was starting to get mean because I had gotten bitter, and I'd gotten bitter because I'd been hurt. I didn't intend to go down this path today. In fact, I didn't know what I was going to talk about when I walked in here. But this is good. This is important. This is something that I definitely want to pass on to my kids. And right now, them being preteen and teenagers, they're not all that receptive to the heart of what it is that I want to share right now because they're wrapped up in that stage of life. But one day, they'll be in their 30s or 40s or later, and they'll go back and they'll listen to this. And if it hasn't been something they've encountered already in life, then maybe this will help to, I don't know, release them from bitterness or frustration or all these things that we let life, the negative things of life, sometimes we choose to let them cause us to become someone that we never wanted to become. Conversely, we have the option to become a joyful person. We have the option to choose happiness. In our hallway, we have a thing on the wall that says, "Today I choose happiness." It's a declaration to ourselves, and it's right there by the front door as we walk out the door to remind ourselves happiness is a choice. I think there's a book titled by that or something. But anyway, we really do get to choose how we react to the world. Now, we don't get to choose how the world comes at us. We do get to choose how we react to the world. There's a way of describing our choices on the world that I don't know where it came from, but I like the terminology. It talks about the things that we vow internally and the things that we judge externally. Our inside vows, our inner vows, are things like, I will never again such and such, this or that. Sometimes inner vows can be really good things. I think it was Tony Robbins, I remember mentioning that the Jewish people after World War II, I think I'm getting this right, they said after World War II, they had a phrase of never again will we let this happen to us as a people. And that never again has resounded in them. They've decided they're not going to be trod on anymore. So that was an inner vow. The never again will I ever, or will we ever. That's an inner vow. Now there's also judgments on the world, and judgment sounds like a bad thing, but I don't know. I guess a softer way to say it is we critique the world around us. Everything that we look at, from entertainment to, photography to video to things that we read, we're always making a judgment call on it. We're making a critique on it. But where it gets really strong is when we say something is this or that, and we make that judgment on it. So we put a judgment on something, and an example of a judgment is, and usually these are connected to pain or connected to a strong feeling, but often the judgments are connected to pain. I suppose they could be also connected to extreme joy. You make a judgment of something. Oh, anyway, I haven't explained what a judgment is yet. A judgment in our hearts is, if I were to have gone through a really painful relationship and I were to, say she really broke my heart, and I was to take that, instead of saying she broke my heart, I need to heal from that and do healthy things like that, I could make a judgment, and in my heart, maybe not even out loud, but maybe it's just in my mind and I hold it in my heart, I could make this judgment of, all women are mean. I could make that kind of judgment. Whenever a judgment is usually wide sweeping and it's usually very declarative, but we take it in so strongly in our hearts that it causes us to take that judgment and believe it as true. Now we can have positive judgments too. We can have judgments where we see the world, where we have an exciting time of seeing our eyes opened up to something in the world, and we have a judgment in our hearts that says the whole world is a wonderful playground. There's a positive view that we take into our hearts. Now, some people could take into the whole world is a scary place and I want to hide away from it. That's another judgment. Both of them can be true in here. And one of them, whole world is a playground, is a wonderful place. People at Pixar. That's totally random that just came up at this point. But the people at Pixar, they decided that the whole world is a playground and they wanted to show wonderful, beautiful things and fun stories. People that had the judgment of the whole world is scary, they're never going to work at Pixar. They're never going to work at a place that's doing amazing, wonderful, cool things. They'll be too scared because their view of the world doesn't allow them to believe that the world can be fun. So that's it for right now. Maybe I'll come back to this. Again, when I get to cutting this and editing, I have no idea how much I'll keep.